Welcome to the channel. Explore the world. Exciting adventure, full of information about interesting animals and fauna. Adventure exploring the jungle. Keep watching my videos to get lots of information about adventures exploring the world. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Click the bell button.
One-horned rhinoceros animal axis rhino. The one-horned rhinoceros or axio-rhinoceros rhinoceros Soundiacus is one of 5 living species of rhinoceros. The following is an explanation of the one-horned rhino. Physical characteristics. The one-horned rhinoceros, or axio-rhinoceros, Rhinoceros soundiacus, is one of 5 living species of rhinoceros. The following is an explanation of the one-horned rhino. Skin color. The skin of the axis rhinoceros is usually brownish-gray. Its skin is smoother and less folded compared to other rhinos. Habitat and distribution. Native habitat. Axis rhinos are usually found in rhine forests, swamp forests and bushy areas in Southeast Asia, including Indonesia and Malaysia. Geographic distribution. Axis rhino populations have declined and are now limited to a few locations, such as Ujung National Park in Java, Indonesia, and several areas in peninsular Malaysia. Food and eating habits. Herbivores. Axis rhinos are herbivores, eating a variety of plants such as leaves, twigs, fruit and shrubs. Nocturnal habits. They are more active at night, often resting in shaded areas during the day. Behavioral and social. Solitary access. Rhinos tend to be solitary, except during the mating season or when a female rhino has cubs. Territorial. Male rhinos can be aggressive and protective of their territory, especially during the mating period. Threats and conservation. Contesting interest. Access. Rhinos face serious threats from illegal hunting, habitat loss and conflict with humans. Conservation status. The axial rhinoceros is listed as a critically endangered species, according to the IUCN Red List, indicating a high risk of extinction. Conservation efforts. Habitat protection efforts are being made to protect and restore the natural habitat of the axis rhinoceros. Anti-poaching patrols, increased patrols, and protection of axis rhinos in the wild to prevent illegal poaching. Community approach. Involve local communities and conservation efforts to minimize conflict and raise awareness of the importance of protecting the axis rhino. Axis rhinos are an important part of biodiversity and have a critical role in maintaining the balance of the ecosystems in which they live. Sustained and collaborative conservation efforts are needed to ensure the survival of the axis rhinoceros in the wild. Areas usually found. One-horned rhinoceros, axis rhino. The one-horned rhinoceros or axial rhinoceros, Rhinoceros soundiacus, can be found mainly in several areas in Southeast Asia. The following are areas where the axis rhino can be found. Java Island, Indonesia. Axis rhinos are often found on the island of Java, Indonesia. They usually inhabit forest and savanna areas. Sumatra, Indonesia. The population of axial rhinos is also found on the island of Sumatra, although the numbers are much smaller than on the island of Java. Wakambas, Indonesia. Wakambas National Park in Lampung, Sumatra is also an important conservation area for the Wika rhino. This place has an elephant training center, which functions to protect and educate elephants and rhinos. Axis rhinos are an endangered species, and intensive conservation efforts are needed to protect them from threats such as illegal hunting and habitat loss. Several organizations and governments work together to maintain the axis rhino population and preserve their natural habitat. How to prevent extinction. One-horned rhinoceros, axis rhino. Preventing the extinction of the one-horned rhinoceros, axis rhinoceros involves various conservation efforts involving the government, conservation organizations and local communities. Here are some ways to support conservation and prevent the extinction of the axis rhino. Habitat protection. Establish and protect the natural habitat areas of the axial rhinoceros, such as national parks, nature reserves, and conservation areas. Monitor and maintain the habitat to ensure that it remains sustainable. Anti-poaching and illegal trade. Increase law enforcement efforts to combat illegal poaching and trade in rhino axes or their body parts. Collaboration with international institutions to tackle the illegal trade in ivory and rhino products. Human-animal conflict management. Develop strategies to reduce conflict between humans and axis rhinos, such as building fences, identifying migration carriers, and providing training to local communities. Population and health monitoring. Conduct regular surveys and monitoring to understand the population size, distribution, and health of the axis rhinoceros. Conduct scientific research to increase understanding of the behavior and ecological needs of the axis rhinoceros. Genetic conservation. Implement selective breeding and genetic management programs to ensure genetic diversity in the axis rhino population. Habitat restoration. If necessary, carry out habitat restoration efforts such as reforestation, land rehabilitation, and ecosystem restoration to support the axis rhinoceros. The key to successful conservation of the Wicca rhinoceros is cross-sector collaboration and joint efforts from all parties involved. Only with coordinated and sustained action can we ensure the survival of the axis rhinoceros and preserve the planet's biodiversity. And that concludes our journey through the wonders of our incredible planet. If you enjoyed this adventure, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next exploration.